Hi, it's Sam Price here from Hazel and Fred, and today we're going to briefly explain the difference between a RAD and a DAP when it relates to the aged care sector in Australia. There's lots of acronyms used in the aged care sector for some reason, but today we're going to explain these two. The first one being the RAD, that stands for Refundable Accommodation Deposit. Think of that as the cost of entry into an aged care home, which is fully refundable if you pay the full amount. So it's like the purchase price or a bond that you get fully back at the end of your tenure there. So when you don your angel wings and move on, that full amount of the RAD is paid back to your estate. Versus the DAP, which stands for the Daily Accommodation Deposit. That's like if you don't have the full amount, or you don't have a RAD, you don't have the monies available, you can actually rent that room. I think of it as renting anyway. So you rent that room at the aged care home, of which you don't get anything back at the end of your tenure, but you haven't had to come up with the funds initially either. So let's take, for example, that the RAD to move into this particular aged care facility is $500,000. So if you have the funds available, you can pay the full $500,000, in which case there'll be no DAP applicable for you at all. You might speak to your financial planner and decide that you have $250,000 available that you could use as the RAD. So you could put in $250,000 as your RAD, but then you're left with the $250,000 balance outstanding, where you can pay that by way of a DAP, which equates to $34.10 per day. Okay? Or if you don't have any funds available for one reason or another, you can choose not to pay any RAD at all and pay the full DAP amount. Now the DAP amount of $500,000 at the current interest rate is $68.20 a day. And how we calculate what that amount would be for the DAP, we look at the purchase price, which in this case is $500,000, times it by the NPIR, which is the maximum permissible interest rate, which is set by the government, which was reduced a couple of months ago, currently 4.98%. So 500,000 times the 0.0498% divided by 365 days a year calculates to $68.20 per day. Now that would be the RAD, that would be the DAP you would pay if you don't pay any RAD initially. There are other costs involved, like the daily care costs as well as the extra fees and things like that, but this is the lump sum payment to actually get into an aged care home. Now most of the aged care homes that we visit are not selective or there's no bias whether people pay the RAD up front or they pay DAP. They're not too worried about either or. Some, however, do require a minimum RAD to be paid. Some require 20%, others 30% and so forth. So that's always very important to work at the beginning. And before you make that decision, it's always wise to speak to a financial planner that's well versed on aged care, because they often recommend that people pay full amounts in RADs at certain values, which gives them certain tax benefits and can affect your pension and so forth. So before deciding on, do I pay the RAD up front, do I pay a DAP, or a part of both, it's best to seek financial advice in most cases, we find. There we have it. That's the difference between a RAD and DAP. If you have any questions at all, please give us a call, send us an email or a message, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. Thanks and have a great day.